Got to put on my microphone here. Good evening, everybody. I'm going to call this meeting to order at 5:30 p.m. We are going on to item 1B, roll call. Mr. Koenig, can you please take roll?
Board President Garcia.
Here.
Board Vice President Ocampo.
Here.
Board Clerk Perez.
Here.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira.
Here.
Trustee Jimenez. Trustee Jimenez is absent.
Very good. Item 1C, the Pledge of Allegiance. And tonight, the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Allison Munoz and Dania Marquez from Dr. Martin Luther King Junior Academy.
Good evening. My name is Alison Munoz.
And my name is Dania Marquez.
We are sixth graders at Dr. Martin Luther King Junior Academy. Place your hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Very nice. Oh, here you go. So we're moving on to item 1D, Spotlight. This is an opportunity to feature up to a 3-minute presentation, the positive things that are taking place throughout the district. Mr. Koenig, do we have any spotlights?
Yes, first of all, we've got Estella Mercado from Frank Paul, where she's a transitional kindergarten teacher. She's going to address the board regarding ALISAL Teachers Association members who will retire this year.
Uh-oh, there you go. You guys could have heard me before. It's my pleasure this evening to come before you and acknowledge several of our teachers who have the distinguished honor of retiring this year. And so the ALISAL Teachers Association wishes to extend tons and tons and tons of thanks to the following people: Deborah Davis at Fremont Elementary, Gregory Seberg at Jesse G. Sanchez, Lorenzo Raigosa at Barden Elementary, Daniel Delgado at Barden Elementary, Marguerite Volmer at Creekside Elementary, Marisela Stanford at Barden Elementary. At ALISAL Community School, we have one of my first teacher mentors, really, Miss Norma G. Garcia. When I first started in the district, I was put on that first grade team and was really afraid of teaching reading. And if it wasn't for Norma and the incredible first grade team that Bill Deeb at that time had assembled, I don't know where I would be. But I'm so grateful to her for being a peer mentor. I'm also very grateful to Jaime Pastoriza, who was also a peer mentor. And as a second grade teacher during my 2.5 years teaching second grade at ALISAL Community, Jaime, you know I'm indebted to you for life and for so many things and for stepping up and being an amazing leader of the ALISAL Teachers Association. So thank you very much, my friend. Alan Rains at Johnny Steinbeck and my friend Paul Salmon. I don't know if you're around, Paul, but if you're out there watching on TV or the internet, we want to thank Paul Salmon, who's been, ever since I can remember, having been a representative of the ALISAL Teachers Association, Paul has sat on that negotiations team for at least 24.67 years of my life. And we're so indebted to him and his entire team for the incredible job they've done over the years with negotiations, and his leadership will be dearly missed. And on a personal note, Mr. Koenig, I want to say thank you, sir. Having been a leader of the association has been a great honor for me, but a bigger honor has been working with incredible leadership in this district, and you've been one of those leaders and mentors. And so you've brought Alma to the forefront and spent a lot of good district dollars on training not just teachers, but administrators on what we in kindergarten do, how to get along, how to communicate with each other. And sir, I think you did an exemplary job, and thank you so much for your leadership over the years. And Monica, and I know we had the pleasure of meeting Monica Anzo and Edie Porter at our executive board a couple of weeks ago. And again, thank you, ladies, for coming, listening, and for extending that open door policy to communication and collaboration. And that's what we look forward to in the next coming years. And so thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Koenig, do we have any other spotlights?
We have one other spotlight. Blanca Miranda, community member and Cesare Chavez Elementary School parent, will present on her experience at CABE 2025.
Is Blanca here? Is Miranda?
She appears to not be here, so
Okay.
there are no more spotlights.
Okay, we're going to move on then to item E, adoption of the agenda. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda? Ms. Gilbas Barrera, do I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Perez, comments or questions? Mr. Koenig, can you please take the line vote?
President Garcia?
Yes.
Vice President Ocampo?
Yes.
Clerk Pettis?
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira?
Yes.
The motion passes.
Okay. Item 2, public comment concerning items on the open session agenda and on non-agenda items guidelines. There will be a 2-minute limit for individuals and a 20-minute limit on total public comments. There is no ceding of one's time to other individuals. Item 2A, individuals wishing to address the Board of Trustees on open session agenda items and/or other items may do so at this time, and I'm starting at 5:37. Do we have anybody wishing? Okay. We've got Carol Trailer.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carol Trailer. I've been with the district in the Nutrition Services Department for almost 17 years now. It's been a blessing. I love serving and I love children, and I enjoy that. And so I want to encourage you tonight to ratify the contract with the CSEA 577. I believe that as one of the employees that it will be money well spent. We are dedicated, efficient people who serve our community in the LaSalle district each day. We come to work prepared, ready to serve, and do the best of our ability. And I know that it's trying times for everyone, but we show up. And when we show up, we show out. And I want to read something to you all that we received last year on our appreciation. It'll be concise. I won't read the whole thing, but this is the main thing that it says. The important work that's done in the classroom every day could not be accomplished without the hard work of our classified staff, whether you are a custodian, a campus supervisor, a parent education specialist, a front office staff member, a paraeducator, or any of the other positions that support classroom instruction. You contribute absolutely. Your contribution is absolutely essential to make our schools run smoothly. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it says, please know that you are appreciated.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you so much. How about Ruth Alves? Is there a Ruth Alves? And I'm hoping I'm saying that right. A la vez. Okay, Ruth. Yeah, thank you.
Buenas tardes, señor Poli. Señor, ¿sí? Ok. Buenas tardes, señor Connie, a diputada Mónica Anzo y a toda la mesa directiva y a la comunidad. Yo soy un padre de la escuela Lizal. Tengo una niña de 11 años en la primaria y tengo otro niño que está en Montebella que está en bilingüe, doble inversión. Yo solo vengo a dar gracias al distrito, ¿verdad? Porque nos ha tomado como en cuenta a los padres. Hemos ido a CABE y hay muchos talleres. Ya tengo como 3 años que voy para allá. Y, ay, disculpen, estoy un poco nerviosa. Y nos ayuda como padres, nos ayuda a reflexionar y hay temas que uno los puede traer y compartir con otros padres. Y les doy gracias porque pues es mucho trabajo para como distrito y todo el personal, vea, porque yo me siento contenta. Tengo un hijo y yo le compartía y gracias a todos los talleres que nos enseñan, mi hijo ahorita yo me siento contenta porque agarró la mejor decisión de estudiar. Él estudia en Sacramento, está estudiando una carrera y ya ahorita ya terminó un año y me siento feliz, ¿verdad? Y también le doy gracias porque nos dieron una playera. Puede ser algo, para muchos puede ser algo insignificante, pero pues es algo para mí que es importante, tener una playera de Alizal. Y también les doy gracias porque hay muchos programas para nuestros niños. Yo tengo un niño que está en el programa de mariachi y me siento contenta porque mi niño va como unas 4 horas y en vez de estar en la casa con la tableta, él está aprendiendo música. Y pues hay muchos programas más, ¿verdad? Y también lo de CABE, también le he dicho a otros padres de los talleres que hay allá. Y pues muchos padres también pueden ir, pero tienen que acercarse por si gustan ir a esos talleres, ¿verdad?
Gracias.
Gracias.
Do you want to go ahead and translate?
Good afternoon, board. My name is Ruth Alaves. I'm here. I have a child in Alisal Community School. I'm just here to thank everyone. Thank you. I was able to attend CABE. I attended all the workshops, a lot of the workshops there. Thanks to everything I've learned. One of my child decided to attend college and he just finished the first year. I feel very, very happy. I thank you. That also we received a t-shirt. That may be something small, but to me it's very important to have a t-shirt that says Alisal. I also want to thank you about the after school programs. My child attends the mariachi program and I'm very happy he spends 4 hours there instead of watching its computer. He's learning something. And as far as CABE goes, I've spread the word to other parents, but sometimes it's hard for other parents to attend. Thank you.
Okay. We are moving on. Oh, wait, I'm ending this public comment at 5:43. Now we're going to be on item 2B, association comments, Alisal Teachers Association.
Good afternoon, President Garcia and members of the board, and Mr. Koenig, and the cabinet and the public in attendance. So Jaime Pastoriza, the president of the ATA. ATA ran an election for new officers. ATA will have a new executive board beginning on June 1st. So the new president will be Amy Edwards. And the secretaries will be, still will be the same, Sarah Granger Mineo and Lisesa Valorosco. And the treasurer will be Kim Vitran. And then the ATA will run an election in August for vice president. So since this is my last meeting here as a president, I just want to say thank you to all of you. It really has been a pleasure and a great experience, and I definitely will have the memory or have the honor of helping each other here in the moments and experience. Anyway, thank you, and by the way, I love the blue color. Remind me of the sky. There's a lot of blue here tonight. Thank you.
Okay. About California School Employees Association, Chapter 577.
Good evening, Board President, Board members, Superintendent, Cabinet members, classified staff, community members. Solange Kekinoy, President for Chapter 577. First, I want to say congratulations to Mr. Pastoriza on his retirement. And, tonight, I'm here to urge you to recognize and fairly compensate the over 500 classified employees who are the backbone of the Alice Howe Union School District. These dedicated workers, custodians, paraeducator, aides, office staff, bus drivers, food service, and more ensure our schools run smoothly, supporting our students, parents, and teachers every day. However, the district has refused to align the classified salary schedule to minimum wage levels, despite California's raising cost of living. The district's latest proposal to CSEA offered just a 2% salary increase, the same as a teacher, which still fails to bring our lowest classification in range of minimum wage standards. This is unacceptable for employees who give so much to our schools. Let's put this into perspective, and I don't want anyone to take that as attacking to a person. A 1% increase for the entire classified bargaining unit would cost approximately $236,842. Yet, the new superintendent's salary exceeds $260,000 a year, more than the cost of the 1% raise for all 500 plus classified staff combined. Additionally, the district continues to increase its legal expenses, especially those related to the cost of bargaining. Initially, one lawyer was brought to our negotiation table. Now, 2 lawyers are at the table with CSEA and 6 other highly paid district cabinet administrators. How much is being spent on time as well as legal fee that could instead be used to fund fair wage for the classified employee? There is one political commenter that said, quote, "The budget is a statement of values," unquote. I ask the board to please prioritize our classified employees by directing the district to increase its last offer by 1% to CSEA bargaining to provide us with at least a 3% salary increase, bringing our lowest range in line with the current minimum wage. We deserve respect, appreciation, and a living wage. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Okay, how about anybody from the United Substitute Teachers Union? No? Okay, we're going to go on to item 3, presentations. 3A is school site presentations, Principal Jose Juan Urquizo from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Academy.
Good evening, President Garcia, board members, cabinet, and community. My name is Jose Juan Urquizo, and I am the principal at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Academy. Presenting with me tonight is my right hand at MLK, our assistant principal, Mrs. Milka Hernandez. Today, we are here to tell you about the ongoing productive struggle. Our theme tonight is Innovation Ignites and Celebration Unites. Our celebrations this school year started on our first day of school. We are proud to share that our school has made significant progress on the California School Dashboard over the past 2 years. In English language arts, we have moved out of the red indicator into orange, showing clear improvement in student achievement. Even more exciting, our English learner progress has jumped from red all the way to green, reflecting the incredible growth and hard work of our students, staff, and families. This is a powerful testament to our commitment to equity, language development, and academic success for all learners. With the support from Ed Services and in partnership with WestEd, our school ILT team embarked on a journey to strengthen collaboration. This year, our PLCs have engaged in 4 structured collaborative protocols to deepen instructional practice and improve student outcomes. The Analyzing Standards Protocol. PLC teams unpacked essential standards to identify skills and align instruction to grade level rigor. The impact this protocol has had is that it provides an opportunity to clear learning targets aligned to assessments and tasks. The Lesson Tuning Protocol gave grade level teams opportunities to provide each other feedback on lessons to ensure engagement, differentiation, and clear instructional strategies. The impact includes increased collaboration and consistency in instructional strategies. The third protocol, Analyzing Student Work. Through collaborative examination of student work, teachers shifted from simply grading to analyzing student thinking, leading to more targeted small group instruction and effective reteaching strategies. And the Lesson Observation Protocol, teachers engaged in non-evaluative peer observations to reflect on student engagement and instructional practices, resulting in increased professional reflection and the spread of effective teaching strategies across classrooms. Here you see some pictures. In one picture, you see a grade level engaging in the lesson tuning protocol, followed by the observation protocol by their peers. There's also a picture of the writing rubric as an example of analyzing student work protocol in which teams calibrated student work. Through one of our innovations that you heard about, Parsec, we're able to gather feedback, anonymous feedback. Here's some of the feedback from teachers. It was mostly positive. I'll read one. The most impactful PLC experience I had this year was lesson tuning with my grade level team. The lesson tuning activity allowed me to reflect on my teaching practices and get feedback from my team about how to make my lesson better. It was also impactful to see my team's lessons and help give them feedback. There are some more there if you wanted to look at the feedback about their support from the coach. In celebrating, we're still celebrating, and our most recent benchmark using iReady, more than half of our students made more than 90% of their typical growth by April in reading, and 79% of typical growth in math. Along with innovation, there's a lot of tools now that can help us work smarter. So our innovations include a Bullseye, and you'll hear about Bullseye, which is a digital dashboard that streamlines learning walks, allowing staff to collect and analyze classroom data efficiently. We'll tell you about SmartPass, which is a digital hall pass system that helps school manage student movement and increase campus safety and accountability. And you'll hear about Parsec, which supports written, voice, and video input, empowering all users, including families with limited literacy, to share feedback and be heard. If we can click on the video. Here's a summary of feedback from students using Parsec.
My favorite part of the school day is when we go to lunch.
My favorite part of school and why is recess because I could go and play.
My favorite part from the school is that we do I-ready math and when we do I-ready reading.
My favorite part of the school day is math because I love learning.
And class have like great teachers and great classes.
I think it's a great school to teach.
I think MOK is a great school to attend to because Mr. G is a good teacher. He's a fun teacher. Another reason I think MOK is great because Betty is like the best supervisor. Another reason is because you can make a lot of friends here.
I like MOK because my favorite part is doing computer time.
We'll move on to information about Bullseye, which is a centralized paperless data tracking. Bullseye replaces scattered paper-based systems with a single digital platform that consolidates student achievement data and academic indicators, making it easier to access, manage, and act on information. Bullseye enhances learning walks by collecting evidence aligned to school-wide and PLC goals. Feedback is shared electronically shortly after visits, supporting immediate reflection and targeted instructional support. 58 total learning walk visits were conducted this year using Bullseye. 96% of staff who were observed received a follow-up feedback session, ensuring timely reflection and support. 16 instructional next steps were identified for teachers to refine or adjust their instructional strategies. This shows our commitment to using walkthroughs to promote meaningful professional growth. Of the 16 next steps, 5 were fully implemented by teachers, demonstrating progress and responsiveness to feedback. This also highlights an opportunity to support and monitor the completion of next steps for more moving consistently forward. Strength area, this is like a report that we can gather for our ILT or for the school teams to look at. Our strength area thus far, we are seeing the most consistent and effective practices in listening and comprehension, including evidence-based strategies such as retelling, summarizing, read-alouds, and making meaningful connections. Our growth area, our greatest need for improvement is in reading fluency, specifically in establishing consistent fluency routines and ensuring students receive immediate targeted feedback. This is an example of the electronic form that the teacher receives. I'll move on to SmartPass. Here are 2 examples. On one side, you see on the red, that's a student who's been in the restroom for close to 10 minutes. The other ones have been under the 5-minute. There's another, the orange is a student who goes for reading intervention, and it has the time that the student has been out of the classroom. So students use SmartPass every time they leave the classroom, for example, to go to the restroom or to receive instructional or emotional support. And if we can click on the video, on the link, it's 30 seconds. On the top, it's right there.
Schools today are struggling to rein in the chaos in the corridors. As school hallways become more disruptive, bathrooms are getting damaged, students feel less safe, and most importantly, students are losing precious learning time. But managing student movement in schools has become next to impossible for teachers and staff. So, how do educators keep students learning instead of lingering? SmartPass keeps your classrooms focused and hallways free from chaos by enabling teachers to better manage the flow of students with a uniquely powerful, easy-to-use digital hall pass.
So as you can see, this promotes positive behavior. Students learn to manage their time responsibly. Teachers have data. We have fewer disruptions, clearer boundaries, and reduce restroom vandalism. It helps us during our safety drills. We know who is missing and where they are. And now I'll hand it over to Assistant Principal, Ms. Hernandez. First year at MLK, she's doing a tremendous job with campus safety, SSTs, classroom walkthroughs. She's ready and she's right there helping our school tremendously.
Thank you, Mr. Bishop. So in continuing to celebrate our innovation processes at our school, I'm going to be speaking a little bit about our SST process, which is a celebration under my leadership. So this process starts with the student digital referral. The significance of this process of the referral is to provide me with immediate and deeper insight about an individual student. Prior to the meeting, it gives me an opportunity to review important information about the whole child. I don't know what he said. Okay, so the objective in developing a more innovative process for SSTs was to enhance teacher and parent clarity and to increase parent involvement. We were looking to move away from the SSTs feeling like a repetitive conference in which parents felt that they were once again being informed that their child was struggling. Through the development of our new SST referrals and our new meeting format, the process has been essential to student achievement as it ensures a comprehensive understanding of the whole child. It supports data-driven decisions. It identifies what has or hasn't been working for an individual student. It promotes a focused discussion and strengthens collaboration amongst all members, including families. In developing SMART goals and establishing individualized success criteria for the student, we have been able to ensure measurable progress within a set time frame and guide targeted instruction and support. Through the use of Parsec, through the Parsec feedback collected, we have received 53% of teachers who have participated in the SSTs have expressed favorability, and 55% of parents who have participated have also expressed favorability. So when asked about their participation, what their participation looked like, 57% of teachers expressed favorability, including one teacher who expressed, "I was a teacher, I honestly felt like I was heard and involved." Another teacher expressed, "I was active, I was involved, I made my voice heard, I gave some points on how I can help the student." Through parent feedback, when asked about their participation, 88% of parents expressed favorability. One parent expressed, they asked me questions, they asked for my opinion, and the work that I do at home with the issues that I have to discuss with my child. Another parent expressed that they felt very good. They felt very good. They gave more options to help my daughter. Nope. I went through that very quickly. That's okay. So in continuing celebrating some of the processes, in addition to the SSTs, another area that I oversee is PBIS. And here we have some images of our monthly PBIS events, including one in which I, the assistant principal, was pie-faced by a student. And then we have another video that just elaborates on all of the celebrations addressed throughout this presentation by myself and Mr. Kiso.
While that video pops up, I can continue for the sake of time. Is it ready? Okay. I know that we're staying within our 15 minutes.
The most impactful PLC experience I had this year was that I was able to work with my colleagues side by side, and we came up with great lesson plans, assessments. We calibrated writing. We got to do a lot, and it was really meaningful. Everything we get to do together is meaningful because we work as a team, and we apply it as a team.
My favorite PBIS event is the color run because it was fun to run around with some energy and get paint thrown on you. It could be one of the best memory. I enjoyed it because we can make a lot of memories, and there's so much things that can happen. And
Which
I
of the
want next year's
strategies
students to
discussed
feel
do
it
you
too.
feel will most positively impact your student?
They have like a little phonics plan flashcards that the teachers are already starting, and I'm going to continue at home with it as well.
The PBS I would like to see next year is the color run and the trampoline.
Yo siento que deberían de agregar como un laberinto de pasto o de margotos así, y que fuera un laberinto para que fuera con PBIS y para que pues, como que nos divirtiéramos más, algo nuevo.
Muy contento en su escuela aquí con sus amiguitos y con los maestros.
As we move to, in our closing slides, you'll see some pictures on, if you can go back to the next slide, I have it here. So we're celebrations. We recently celebrated our Teacher of the Year, a classified member of the year, who is our amazing secretary, Ms. Vega, our Teacher of the Year for the district, Cinco de Mayo. We've celebrated on the left, you see the students who we classified. They earned a hoodie. And on the right, all students who leveled up. So we weren't just rewarding kids who got a 3 or 4. Anybody who leveled up on the SPEC was recognized. Our staff loves to have fun and participate. One picture there shows our classified paraeducators on Paraeducator Appreciation Week. We are rewarding kids for perfect attendance. And before I play this last video, I just wanted to, point out that public education is complex, especially in schools where the majority of students qualify for Title I support and face systemic barriers. Yet within that complexity, we find purpose. Today, we celebrate our productive struggle, our continuous growth, and most importantly, our unwavering commitment to helping every student reach their fullest potential. What better way to end with a moment of joy with our students and our superintendent together in music and in community. And if we can play the video.
Before that, a point of order. Sorry, we have a point of order.
We're still in session, and so if anybody has to exit, if I may ask that they do so quietly, because we're in session right now, and we do have a presentation going. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
In celebration, as you see the video, I want to wish Mr. Koenig a happy retirement. He was there celebrating and dancing along to the mariachi, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Ofisto. And wait, Ms. Hernandez, or Miss Hernandez? Miss, okay. I'm going to start over here on my left. Ms. Gilbas, would you like to comments?
Thank you, President Garcia. Thank you very much to both of you. That was a great presentation. A lot to be proud about going on at your school. I did have a couple of questions, one on the SST and then the other one on the digital hall pass. First of all, the digital hall pass, what does the student have in its, how does that work? Can you elaborate a little bit more than, I'm trying to visualize it. How does that work?
So it's in the student's portal through the help of our IT department. The student raises their hand, the teacher grants permission, the student clicks on their Chromebook, and they go, and the timer starts. And the student, there's different icons. They might be going to the restroom, they might be going to see the counselor, they might be going to see the reading intervention. So they click where they're going.
Oh,
and and then when they come back, they click back in.
Oh, okay. And you have access to all of that?
Yes. So if I'm walking on campus, I can pull out my phone and see, okay, I'm sorry, where are you going? And we can digitally track where students are.
That's great. I think it makes our students feel more secure, or at least we know where they're at, right? Thank you for that. And then my other question was on the student study teams. Who is present besides are you present at all of them, Ms. Hernandez? And then the parent, who else?
Yeah.
So the essential, all members are essential, but the essential team is the parent. Sometimes both parents, sometimes they bring siblings, right? So we say the family, the teacher and myself, but our instructional coach is also invited, which is a great door for coaching cycles for our teachers. Our instructional coach doesn't really speak directly into the students' needs, but how to navigate, some of those interventions that are going to be put in place prior to the meeting. Based on the initial referral, we'll get feedback from our reading specialist, intervention teachers, so we have a full picture before coming into the meeting, which is very helpful for everybody to just kind of guide the conversation.
That's a great way to assist the student is through a group of people, of experts
Yes.
to, I'm sure you talk about the students' strengths, the positive
Definitely.
things, and then the student gets to see, because they're there also, right? Or no?
Not all the time.
Oh, okay.
They might be invited, typically older students,
Mhm.
but not all the time.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
really parent preference.
Oh, okay. I
And in addition, if we have any students that receive counseling support, our counselors are invited, but their feedback is always welcomed and essential as well.
Awesome. And then so how many, on the average, let's say for a month, how many SST referrals do you get?
Yeah. So in combination with initials and follow-ups, we have SST meetings every other week, and I try to do at least 8 of them. I want to, time is essential. I don't like cramming it. I don't, I want to give the meeting, full attention. So we follow a thorough agenda. We stick to it. In working with WestEd and using our protocols, I've really learned strategies for time management and just keeping the meeting at a good flow. So we've been able to meet at least for 8 students
That's great.
every other week.
And you're the facilitator?
Yeah.
Are you at the meeting? Oh, that's great. Awesome. Thank you. The students are in good hands. It seems like they're with both of you. Thank you very much. That's all.
Ms. Bettis, comments or questions?
That was an awesome presentation and very proud of the progress in your academics. In the 90% increase in reading and 79 in math for the benchmark. That's awesome. And I do have a question. I don't know if I missed it, but who does the classroom walkthroughs?
It's Mrs. Hernandez, myself, and our instructional coach.
Every day or once a week?
The goal is to go to at least 1 grade level a day. Most days we're successful, but some we are either in IEP meetings or SSTs or in a collaboration with another district team.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Mr. No? Okay. Mr. Ocampo?
Yes, well, I want to congratulate you on the progress. Obviously, the progress was good. Was that a mariachi on the first day of school?
Yes.
Oh, good job. I thought that was cool. Yeah, that's no way, you're going to open up school, open it up with a mariachi. I had 2 questions. I'm wondering, looks like you're using a lot more technology, I guess. You got the Parsec, the Bullseye, and the digital passes. So I'm curious, is there buy-in from, is there any part of your teaching staff that is kind of resisting you on this? Do you feel that the buy-in is there? Are teachers using the systems?
So with Parsec, yes, it's a lot faster. So we gather teacher. We want to gather teacher voice. What are their suggestions? What are their improvements? What I can say that it's anonymous, so teachers give us a lot of feedback on various topics. So that we haven't had. There has been buy-in. Teachers actually, we're training our ILT team to see how they can use it in the class. Because this is our first year. Next year, we want teachers to create their own feedback for parents. And what we're loving about it is that parents who aren't reading, who don't read, they're able to record their voice or through video. Regarding Bullseye, yes, there was buy-in. We took it to the teachers. The question was, would you prefer, because we do learning walks, we can visit classrooms every day. Do you prefer the paper or would you like something electronic? And the majority of the teachers said we would prefer something digital. It's instantaneous. With SmartPass, we're piloting this year, so we have a lot of teachers who are using it. We're learning it alongside. So this year has been for that an exploration year with implementation, and we're hoping to refine it next year.
So the Parsec, I guess, looks for different, I guess, different modalities in terms of how students learn, and then tries to present them a topic through different modalities, I guess. Is that basically what it's doing?
Yes, teachers could use it for feedback, for students could give them feedback. They can check for understanding. Our goal we had talked about last year is we want to do SEL type of feedback for students. And the neat part of this is, for example, if you notice some of the kiddos who were in the video, they're in kindergarten, so they may not be able to fully read or write a full sentence or paragraph, but they can express what they want to say. And then through using AI, Parsec generates a feedback to report the data and the trends and the themes.
Sounds great. Yeah, the second question, I was curious about your SST, sort of the what happens after the SST, because I know that, people come together and out of an SST, you might get a referral to SPED, you might get a decision that a 504 has to be done on the student, or I guess any other kind of intervention. But I'm curious, what happens after the decision, is made? I mean, is there someone that makes sure that the decision is carried out? Is there someone that assesses, how well it's being done? Because like somebody, you can write an SST for a student where teachers are supposed to do certain things based on, the student's behavior or based on their needs. And some teachers might diligently, carry forth the 504, but some conceivably might not, or might not even be aware of it, I mean, it's sort of thrown out there to the teaching staff, and then it's the responsibility, I guess, of every teacher to make sure that they know that the student has a 504 and what they have to do, in order to carry it forth. But I'm curious whether anybody, does sort of an analysis of like, is it being done? And if it's being done, the action, how well is it being done? I'm wondering if that's part of your process.
I think what I can say is the reason we're doing this digital feedback after each SST, asking the teacher and the parent to give us feedback for each meeting, how it went, because we want to hear from them. And I think one of our major goals is, first of all, to ensure that we all understand that the SST is a function of the general ed, and that we're going to hold SSTs because we want to strategize as a team with instructional practices and modifications. And not all the SSTs are going to be referrals to special ed. They can be once we've ensured that there's been a pretty tight system. And we're using this data to improve from teacher feedback. We want teachers to know that their feedback, their voices, and that each SST, if we're asking them to come up with referral forms and list modifications to bring evidence, we want them to know that our responsibility to them is that we're going to have an effective meeting with an action that is going to be responsive to the parent and to the teacher for the sake of the student's growth.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for your presentation. I do have a couple of questions, maybe. So the Bullseye is how you're capturing the learning walks, yeah? Is that right?
Yes.
And who's doing the learning walks? Who's doing them? The admin.
The admin, yes.
Oh, okay. So at one point I go, wait, so are the teachers doing the learning walks? I was hoping you'd say yes.
Well, the teachers are doing peer observations as one of the
Okay.
protocols, but they follow the protocol because they are going to observe a lesson that they themselves tune together.
Oh,
So
I
that's
see.
not, learning, the Bullseye is not evaluative either, it's for constant feedback, but teachers are doing peer observations of each other.
Mhm. So when you do the learning walks with Bullseye, you're using an iPad, you're walking in with an iPad?
Yes.
Or what are you doing? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And then just with the digital pass, I mean, I'm a teacher, you know that, right? And so it's kind of like, I'm thinking, you didn't get any pushback from digital pass? It feels great because on the outside, it's supposed to be very easy to work with, but that just means that the teachers are constantly looking at the screen, right? Because they have to be able to see the screen to see who's clicking on their hand going up.
Not
that correct?
necessarily different than if a student has to leave the class, because if the teacher will need to write a pass, for example, they don't have to do a paper pass anymore to go see the nurse or to go. And it's really the student clicking. So we haven't had any students who are not clicking. So if this is my device, I'm the student, I click and it'll pop up. So if I'm the teacher, I'm walking around and it'll stop clicking when the student returns. It keeps data. So some teachers have told me that they've been able to tell a parent, your child has gone to the restroom 16 times in 2 days and has been spending, so it's all there for them, as opposed to, I remember being a teacher, it's like, how do I have a conversation with a parent?
Yeah.
And now the data is there for me, it's easily accessible.
It seems like an awful way on a great way to capture data instantly. Well, let's just say I'm a teacher, I'm a small group instruction. I have to have my computer right there so I could see who's clicking on right? I mean, how else would I know?
Not necessarily.
Around the wall?
Not necessarily. I haven't experienced, I think teachers are saying, when kids are saying go to the restroom, they go, they click, and teachers haven't reported that kids are not, it's been matching kids. It's really the work is on the student, not on the
So
teacher.
the teacher doesn't have to say yes to the
No,
restroom?
not at all.
The child just goes?
Child just goes, yes.
Oh, okay. What about during recess?
We don't.
Right?
Yeah, we don't use
So
that.
you
for
don't,
recess.
you're only able to capture when they're inside with the.
In the classroom, yes.
Okay, all right. That makes sense, because I mean, you answered all my questions. You guys did an awesome job, and I'm very proud of how you should be very proud of all the success you've had this year, especially with academics. I just had curiosity about those because I'm kind of trying to picture how that would work for me as a teacher. But thank you so much for your time here today. Thank you, and we'll be looking forward to you for next year, huh? Thank you so much.
Thank you, and come to our celebrations. Thank you.
All right, we're moving on to item 3B, presentation, Director of People Personnel Services, Diana Garcia, School Safety, Site Safety Plan, Implementation Dealing with Bullying.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Jim Koenig, Deputy Superintendent Monica Anso, Cabinet members, and community members. My name is Diana Garcia. I am the Director of Pupil Personnel Services for Educational Services Department. And today, I will be presenting on the Alisal Union School District's bullying preventative measures. Oh, the clicker? It's been quite a while since I presented. Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and begin by defining what is bullying. Bullying is aggressive behavior among children, people in general. It's power imbalance, repetitive behavior that includes making threats, spreading rumors, excluding people from certain events or from social groups, attacking someone physically or verbally. Kids who are bullied, or just people in general who are bullied or who bully others, may have long-term problems leading to mental health issues. Okay. I think I skipped one. Let me see. Okay. So where does bullying take place? Bullying can occur anywhere and at any time. It can occur during and after school. If it occurs at school, it can happen in the classroom, the cafeteria, the playground, the restroom, the hall, when they're walking to the office, walking to their classrooms, during sport time, PE, anywhere. And so it can happen in their neighborhoods as well, and it can happen on the internet. But remember, bullying is consistent behavior, so it has to be from the same individual or individuals towards the same person, same student. Types of bullying. According to the Stop Bullying Gov, there are 5 types of bullying. There's physical, verbal, social, prejudice, and cyber. Physical involves anything when you use physical force or aggression to hurt someone or damage others' belongings. Verbal is when you're using words to hurt or insult or demean others. Prejudice is targeting someone because of their race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, or disability. And social is hurting someone's reputation or relationships, often in a very passive-aggressive way. And cyber is using digital technology like social media, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, text messages, or emails to harass, threaten, or humiliate someone. Now, what is conflict versus bullying? So a lot of the times conflict gets misinterpreted or confused with bullying. Again, bullying is anything that is intentional in its repeated behavior towards someone by a group of people. They're using power to hurt, control, or intimidate. Whereas conflict is a disagreement or argument between 2 or more people who have relatively equal power. So everyone who is involved is equally affected. There is no intent to cause harm, long-term, lasting harm. Majority of the times it can be resolved with mediation and conversation. And this is most of the time targeted by, or resolved by our site administration, or if our wellness team members are made aware of, they provide conflict resolution team sessions with the 2 individuals or 3 individuals involved. So now let's look at our AUSD 2024-2025 Coordination of Services team data. So as you can see here, as of May 3rd, we had a total of 1,550 referrals. We had 21.7 referrals made towards the family resource centers. And this consists of making a home visit, servicing our McKinney-Vento students, connecting our families with community resources. 26.3% were referrals made based on emotional regulation. And what is emotional regulation? So emotional regulation is the ability to manage, control, and respond to emotional experiences. If I know how to regulate my emotions, I will understand when I am told, no, Ms. Garcia, you cannot have this. And I will simply understand and walk away. But if I do not know how to regulate myself, I will throw a temper tantrum. That means that I will elope out of the classroom, start screaming, crying, throw things to others, or just simply have a tantrum. And then 7.4% are referrals made to academics, just for academics. There's some referrals that involve academics and emotional regulation, but the 7.4 is strictly for academics, and these referrals are given to the SST, which is the student study team, and that is the team that the assistant principals are the ones that coordinate and handle those meetings. If there's anything there involving mental health or social-emotional learning or behavior, the counselor or the social worker are also invited to be part of those teams or those meetings. And then as you can see, out of the 1,550 referrals, we have 60 referrals that are strictly on just bullying. And then after, the counselors and social workers work closely with the students or the families and dig a little deeper to find that information. 15% of those actual 60 referrals are actually bullying cases. And then from there, there's a plan developed, and we have partners. And I'll let you know more of some of the preventative measures that take place after, as I continue. So why does the bully? There's always that's a really good question, because we all think that the bully just wants to be a bully. They weren't born to be a bully. And here are some of the evidence-based reasons of why they bully. They just want to feel powerful. They want to be in control. They want to feel powerless in other parts of their lives. So they just want to feel just like they can control something. There's problems at home or with friends. There's a history of being bullied. So they bully because that's a defense mechanism. They feel insecure and they seek attention. So bullying can be a way to deflect attention from their own weaknesses. They try to impress others, so they want to fit in. So that's why they bully. And there's a lack of empathy. Their students, because of their amygdala, something with the brain, they haven't developed that emotion yet. So they don't know how to show empathy for others. So it's so easy to blame the bully, but if we think about it, he or she also needs to have some type of support. And so that's why the wellness team is there to support so that they can teach them ways to express in a healthy way and regulate their emotions. There's always a root cause of why bullies bully. Now, understanding the target of bullying. So the target is also known as the victim. And here we're going to look at some research-based reasons of why they become a target, why the target becomes a victim. A lot of the times it's because they stand out. So it just depends on their appearance, their clothing, their weight, their disability, their race. Sometimes they're new, they're the new kid on the block, the new kid on site. So they're new there. They seem less likely to fight back. They appear highly sensitive or emotional. There's no strong social support. They're an easy target. So they cry easily, their anxiety goes up very easily, so they become an easy target. And then stereotypes or prejudice. So some kids are bullied due to discrimination because of their race, religion, gender identity, or sexuality. Oops, I think I skipped one. Now that you've learned what bullying is, or you got a refresher on what bullying is, the difference between conflict versus bullying, the types of bullying, the bully and the victim or the target, what does Alisal have in place? So the Alisal Union School District has a board policy on bullying. It is policy 5131.2 that was adopted in February 22nd, 2023. Our policy follows educational codes. And next, I'll talk about the proactive supports that Alisal Union School District has to offer around bullying. So what are we doing here in Alisal? So these are some of the AUSD proactive supports, and this is what we are doing. First of all, we have full on-board wellness teams at each school site. So the wellness teams consist of the assistant principal or the principal. There's also a counselor, full-time counselor. There's a district social worker. There's a mindful life coach at 6 of our schools. There's wellness coaches at almost all of our schools. And they're there full-time. We have an ESS clinician. We have the parent education specialist as well. We also have MSW, which is Masters in Social Work, and school counselor interns that are part of the wellness team. We also have a Sticks and Stones counselor that is there either 2 or 3 times a week. They also bring in a bully prevention program that support with conflict resolution or bully prevention. We have partners such as Harmony at Home, and they have their anti-bully supports that are completely free for schools. So counselors have reached out and put together bully prevention assemblies. They've also asked them to come in to present to the parents at cafecitos. And I believe Ms. Perez was at one of the bully prevention presentations from Harmony at Home. We also have Monterey County Behavioral Health, and they offer their Rainbow Connection support program. And this is mostly for students that are having some sexual orientation or gender identity issues. And our counselors and social workers make referrals to Monterey Behavioral Health, just if we were to have something like that going on. Now, we have more supports that support our bully prevention here in Alisal. And, you know, our bully prevention supports are here to help us promote positive behavior and how to express in healthy ways. So one of the supports that we have is the positive behavior interventions and supports. That's our PBIS program. Some of our schools follow these school values: be safe, be kind, be responsible. Others follow be safe, be responsible, be respectful. We have school-wide events, school-wide activities that promote positive behavior. We have monthly themes. So I know that we celebrate in February and March, Kindness Week. Right now, during the month of May, we're celebrating mental health awareness. And then in October, we also celebrate the bully prevention. And there's, I mean, I can name all of them, but I'll just name a couple. We have PBIS school teams. We have staff PBIS training. We just completed our second PBIS training, final PBIS training for the school year, which was where we partnered up with MCOE to come and train our staff in Tier 1 and Tier 2 PBIS systems. We also have a check-in and check-out system. We offer digital citizenship, especially for students, so that students can become aware of, the cyber bullies out there and how to be careful and protect themselves. We have wellness teams that provide counseling support, social-emotional class presentations, bullying assemblies, wellness coaches check-ins, restorative practices. We've trained all our counselors in restorative practices. Some of our assistant principals have also been trained. We also promote restorative circles. We do the Girasol training for 5th and 6th grade girls, Joven Noble support groups for the 5th and 6th grade boys. We just completed one of our celebrations for Joven Noble last Thursday. We also offer growth mindset tools. And then counselors or some of the wellness team members have anonymous reporting. So they have locked suggestion boxes in their offices, so that students can feel free and report any type of bullying that's happening to either a friend, a colleague, or themselves. And then our Mindful Life coaches do Mindful Life classroom lessons. Some of our assistant principals have calming corners, and that's to support social-emotional well-being. So it's to help students self-regulate when they're dysregulated. And it's also to help kids just feel like welcome and a sense of belonging, because we have students that do suffer from self-esteem. And because of that low self-esteem, sometimes they feel like everybody is bullying them. So how can the wellness team, continue supporting students, right? So one of the things that they do is that they promote and support students by reminding them on how to be kind and include others, support the person being bullied. So instead of being just a bystander, they should be active bystanders. They tell a trusted adult or school staff. If one adult doesn't listen, then go to the next person. Speak up and say it's not okay. Use that confident body language and avoid, reaching or reacting emotionally. And then how can we make a difference? When I say we, that includes everybody in the LSL Union School District, and that includes the community and our parents. So these are ways that we can make a difference. If we start teaching kindness and empathy at an early age, speak up and support, appear highly sensitive and emotional. So if we continue here in LSL teaching what bullying is, not only to our students and staff, but also to our community, our parents, then we will have a better understanding of how to support what bullying really is and how to support our child. Create a safe, inclusive environment. Hold people accountable and responsible, hold those that are involved in bullying, make amends, write an apology letter, say sorry, but when you say sorry, you really mean it from the heart. Reinforce positive behaviors and model open communication. And then these are just resources that we share with either families or with students. They're very child-friendly and parent-friendly as well. And then that's it. If you have any questions, please direct them now.
I'm going to start on this side. Mr. Jimenez, do you have any questions or comments? No? How about you, Mr. Ocampo?
Yeah, I was curious, what is it in terms of a total number? What is 6.6%?
So 6.6 would actually be 60 referrals. So 60 referrals that are sent to us for bully prevention. So that kids are being bullied, right? But out of those 60 referrals, only 15% are actually true bullying cases.
Okay. Okay. So the true bullying cases would be less than 6.6%.
Yes.
Is what you're saying. Yeah. I'm curious, there certainly are a lot of programs that you use, counselors and all these other different programs that we contract with. that provide services to our students. But there's a whole lot of practices, to try to deal with social emotional issues. I'm curious, out of all those practices, which do you believe work the best, or can you point to 3 maybe or 4 and say these are really working, or is it just sort of everything in combination?
It's a combination of everything, but one of the programs that we've seen been very successful, especially with our 5th and 6th grade students, has been Girasol, and then Joven Noble. Yeah, those two have been really successful. I could say that we've seen a turnaround in student behavior. I'm not saying 100%, right? But we've seen a great growth in students' behavior. The other one that I would say has been really successful is the bully prevention that Harmony at Home offers to us. I know that on the educational piece, right? So it's the educational piece for staff, for parents. So really helping parents understand what bullying is. And then the other one would be what the counselors do. Counselors do along with the wellness team and the PBIS efforts embedded within the school-wide events that take place monthly.
You feel a lot of those are
Yes.
having some effect
Mhm.
on the students. I know Joven Noble had, I think it was 60 grads, I think, right?
Yes.
Just recently. So, hopefully we can see that program continue to grow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have actually trained all of our staff already. We're still missing a couple because we do work closely with FACE. And I know next year I was planning on proposing Ms. Satwat or whoever our incoming director is for special education to see if we can start training some of the psychologists, some of the staff there. Just the more people we have trained, the better we can expand it even more.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you.
Ms. Perez, comments or questions?
Just a comment. That was great. I've been part of these programs, and yes, it makes a difference. Not only for the child, the student, but for the parents as well. It makes you see it's like a turnaround in your mind and your thoughts, not only, like I said, for students, but for parents. So awesome job.
Thank you.
Ms. Rivas Barrera?
Thank you, President Garcia. This is such a bullying is such a big, it's like the elephant in the room. It's something not tangible sometimes. It's hard to identify. I think the bully, it's hard for the student or adult that is being bullied to come out and speak about it. And I'm glad that we have all these things in the ALASAL, and thank you for, I'm sure under your leadership, and Mr. Koenigs and Mrs. Anzos, we have these programs here to help our students. And yet it's so heartbreaking that sometimes we still hear, that the schools aren't doing enough because a child will commit suicide because we can't get to them. It's hard, so we have to keep at it, keep training our students, to come and speak to us, to trust us. Even as a board, we have to be open to our employees or the employees of the LaSalle Union School District, because not that I know of any, but I'm sure there's adult bullies. I mean, we were bullied as a board at one time, so much so myself that I resigned. I couldn't take it. It was awful. It's scary because you don't know what your bully can do to you. It's really scary. So we have to address these things and keep it at the front, and not just, if a student comes, it's a big deal that they're getting bullied because we don't know. And I'm preaching to the choir here. I'm sure you know all these things, but I'm just saying as as someone here who can ask, for more help with kids that are being bullied, because some of them are not going to tell anyone. They're just going to hurt themselves, and we don't ever want to be in that situation with one of our LSL students do that. Now, when I was working at a school, we had, but it was a middle school, but we had the conflict resolution teams, and the students helped themselves. And I know that's hard for a second grader, a third grader, but maybe fifth and sixth graders where bullying becomes more prevalent, I think. Or that kind of leads me to ask you the question, is there a grade that has more where bullies are more or bullying is more prevalent?
Yes. So based on our data, it's fifth grade.
Fifth grade. So fifth graders, I think, are, have you ever heard of a students, I mean, not a, SSTs, on the CRT, the conflict resolution teams, where there's an adult present, but a student can go and refer themselves to go to have a CRT. Like, let's say you and I thought you were bullying me, you and I could go, and there's someone there, and there's an adult in the room, but the students themselves, and it's very, I don't know if they're still doing it in the high school, but it really works. And you kind of sign a contract, and the person can tell you, this is what this is what you're doing that's bothering me. And a lot of times they think they're being bullied, and the others don't identify it as bullying. And they say, yeah, well, I signed, I won't do that anymore. So getting the kids, I think, more involved in that. And then just, I think, for any adults in our district that might be experiencing that, I think we are all open ears as a board, as a superintendent, as, to hear about that. Don't keep it to ourselves, because that happens to us, and we get bullied at home. It's all over the place. So I really like some of the identifying factors here, because I think it helps me to understand it a little bit more. But I think it has to be a big deal when there's a student that has the guts to tell an adult, I'm being bullied or someone's bothering me. Because as parents, we say, well, I'm going to go to the school, and that's going to make it worse. And the child feels it going to, be worse. So we have to just, keep it at the front, I think, and assist the students, the parents, believe them when they say they're being bullied. And like you said also in the presentation, also address the person that's bullying and why, and the issues that they're going through. So I want to thank Mr. Koenig for I had asked for a presentation on this, and we got it pretty quick. Thank you, and Ms. Garcia for putting it on the agenda and letting us have this discussion, because it's an opportunity that we could say that as a board, and I know my colleagues are here with it, it's a zero tolerance for bullies, adults and children, but we want to help our children through it. And since we know it's in the fifth grade, are we doing more for fifth graders?
So we are, and that's why we decided to go ahead and train everybody, be certified in National Compadres for Girasol and Joven Noble. And we had a couple of people, that's why some of the counselors were leaving their sites to go support other schools, because of the need of making sure that these groups were taking place. Now everybody has been fully certified. So now we have not only the counselor, but we also have either the community school coordinator or the parent ed specialist or the district social worker or some of the interns trained, so that we don't have to be sending out counselors to other sites to support with these groups. Because they're very healing, and they help students really learn how to express in a healthy way and be able to express what they don't like, right? Or how they don't like being made feel.
So my last question would be, for the cases where we have absenteeism?
Chronic absenteeism?
Right. Do we know through records that there may be students not coming to school because they are being bullied? Do you know of any instances where, and then we help the students?
So one of our social workers handles that a lot, and that is Mr. Pimentel. And so far, it's just been, it hasn't really been bullying. It's been more, we just don't want to go to school. We feel like we don't belong, or school's too hard. So those have been the reasons, but none have come across as, I'm not going to school because I'm being bullied.
Good. So, and then my last comment is, I laugh at it now. I had a bully in 7th and 8th grade at Elsa Sound, and she was this hardcore chola. I mean, and oh my gosh, it was off. I mean, she would tease her hair up to here, and she would wear eyeliner that went here. I think it went all the way around to this side. I don't know. She was just scary. She would wear Pendletons, and I was so afraid of her that I didn't want to go to school. And I tell my mom I'm sick, because I thought, and her name was Rosie. I don't anyways, one time she just wanted to fight, and she had stabbed her own cousin. So everybody was afraid of her, and people saw her stab. Nobody spoke, and I thought, oh my God, she's gonna want. I was terrified. I was so scared, and I never told anyone. And it's just scary. I just know how scary, that is.
And I'm not saying that we don't have any of those cases, we just haven't come across to any, right? But there could be that chronic student that is not speaking up and saying, I'm not going to school because I'm afraid of this bully, right? Not that they're necessarily being bullied themselves, but that could be the case.
Yeah, and then she told me, I think one day when she wanted to fight, she just says, hey, and I turn around, she goes, I don't like your mug. What can I do? She doesn't like my mug. I can't change it. It's your face. What could I do? I couldn't do that to please her, to leave me alone. But once I got bigger and badder, I wasn't afraid anymore. So a lot of it comes within us and the training that we get to not be afraid, because you can only have a bully if you're afraid. Once you're not afraid of that, because you have support, whether it be your teacher, your fellow students or fellow employees, whatever, then you're not that afraid anymore and you can stand up to them. And I did stand up to her as an adult. And she was dressed as like a nun or something. And I just wanted to, I thought, today's not Halloween, is it? Because I'm going to approach her. I didn't want her to beat me up, but it wasn't. And I did tell her, you give me a really hard time. But at the time, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. So there's nothing like, it's scary to be afraid of a bully. And we don't want our kids to have that. So let's make it a big deal here. And it sounds like you are addressing it in your department. And thank you. Sorry for being so long-winded. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your report. So I think Ms. Gilpas, in primary schools, there used to be this thing called peer mediation. It's the restorative justice practices. And it's kind of like that conflict resolution team or for
CRT.
Yeah, is that something that you guys are even considering for mediation?
So we do have restorative practices. So we have attended restorative justice, restorative practice trainings through the county. And we do, our mindful life coaches and wellness coaches are the ones that do conflict resolution, but it's mostly our mindful life coaches because that is their area they do mindful life and then they do conflict resolution because that is their area of focus. And they focus more on tier 1 and tier 2 supports. The counselors do it as well, but what I want them to do is focus more on tier 2 supports. Yeah, so they will support as well, but mindful life coaches do conflict resolution.
Okay. And can you talk to me a little bit more about Joven Noble? This is like the first time I think Mrs. Perez asked me to attend the celebration, but I wasn't able to go. But I've never even heard of Joven Noble. And how do they get into that? Like even Girasol, who refers them into those programs?
So we have cost referrals, and then every student that gets cost referred doesn't necessarily need a service provider. Like they will not, if they don't need a service provider,
When you say cost referrals, are you talking about coordination of services
Yes,
referrals?
that's
So
what I'm
before
talking
the SST, you go, do you
So-
guys have cost referrals before SSTs?
What we try to do is we try to make sure that all referrals, including SSTs, go through cost, because then like that,
Makes sense.
yes. So we want to make sure that they all go through cost, because there's some SST referrals that might have some social emotional needs or behavior needs. So if they go through cost, then the counselors or the team, the wellness team there can catch those, right? And then flag them so that when they disseminate that information to the assistant principal, then they're invited to those SST meetings, and then they can support or share strategies of how to support the student in the classroom or at home if they have any social emotional needs. Now, through Joven Noble, if students don't qualify for a provider, but we believe that they will benefit from a healing support group. And we call them healing support groups because we don't want to call them like, oh, you're going into a bully prevention group or you're going into a restorative group. We call them healing support groups. So they get referred there by one of the COST members. And so then the counselors and social workers usually are the ones that lead that. And so then from there, they get consent forms from the parents. Of course, they call them and explain to them what Joven Noble is, what Girasol is. It's based on indigenous practices. So that is where restorative practices or restorative justice comes from. So it's basically more of a cultural group setting. So they take you back to your roots, you learn who you are, you value where you come from, and it's a group that allows for you to take pride of who you are, where you come from, And so you express because they have a talking stick, and there's no way you're going to get away from not saying or sharing something. Of course, when you're ready for it, right? But you can pass, and they use the whole thing of palabra. You express what you feel at the moment, and if there's someone there that you were having some type of conflict, then you express what your needs are or what your feelings are. That's how they get referred into Joven Noble or Girasol.
You for that. I do appreciate all that. Let's see, did I have any other questions? No, I think we're heading in the right direction. I think there are still sometimes, I think Mrs. Kilpas hit the nail on the head. There's still those kids that probably will never say anything, and it's hard to get them to say they're getting bullied. And but I do see that you have some anonymous reporting there with little boxes. Is that what you have in different sites?
Yes,
Little
so the
boxes?
wellness team members have those, and I can't tell you, oh, it's right here, right in the, right by the door, but they do have those. And everyone has their own system, but they do have anonymous reporting.
Because in my classroom, I used to have like a big jar and with Post-it notes right next to it, and I would put on a jar that said things I want Miss Garcia to know. You know, and I tell them, hey, I know sometimes it's hard for you to talk to me out loud and you don't want to say anything to me. Get a Post-it note and sign it, and I would get the craziest things. But I learned a lot from those kids. That it's really important. Sometimes they don't want to express themselves out loud, and writing is something that, you know, at least the fifth graders were very easily can do. But I thank you for your time and this great presentation, because it gives us a lot more clarity on what the LaSalle School District is doing to prevent bullying from happening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to move on. All right. Presentation number 3C, presentation update on 2024 Measure A and Measure M expenditures from the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee.
Good evening. My name is Paul Annis. I am the presiding member of the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee. Good evening, Madam President, Mr. Superintendent, staff. Short timer. Mr. Superintendent, thank you so much for your 17 years of service. Appreciate it. In the military, we used to refer to him as short timers. He's a short timer. Thank you, sir. What's that now? It's been our godsend. If anybody remembers the last 17 years. Okay, I guess I'm supposed to work this by myself. I'll try. The Citizens Bond Oversight Committee, the overview is to, the overview of my presentation this evening is purpose of the CBOT, Measure M overview, Measure A overview, our achievements, and our areas of concern. Thank you. It goes forward on it. Thank you very much. Areas of concern. I usually have Mr. Abbasi up here babysitting me. See? Areas of concern and future considerations. CBOT purpose is to, and I know these slides are up, right? We're over to CBOT purpose, if we could. CBOT purpose is to ensure that Measure M and Measure A funds are spent as specified, inform the public about the expenditures and finances, which we're here for now, and provide opportunity for engagement through public and quarterly meetings. And I do believe I may have just slipped over and passed, I am sorry if I did, my membership. Yes, excuse me, the membership for the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee. I am currently president and Mr. Rigo Marquez is vice president. However, we need to get that up. Oh, there it is right there. Thank you. And we will be reorganizing, by the way, at our next meeting will be a reorganization meeting. Mr. Rick Giffen as taxpayer member. Mr. Jones, our business owner. Alma Laredo is a parent. Janie Lucas is a member at large, and Maria Carmen Potter is a parent at a school site, a member of a school site council. We have a vacancy on our senior citizen position. You only have to be a member of the Senior Citizens Committee. You don't have to be a senior citizen. So anybody that belongs to the Senior Citizen Committee, we welcome them on the committee. Because I skipped over the membership, and I apologize. I already said the overview. Moving on to the purpose, which I've done. Forgive me for losing my order here. Measure M overview. Measure M overview, we got it. $7 million bond passed by 73.2% of the vote in November of 2016. Without going to, and the slide is up, so you can see, there's a lot of things on here, mostly repairing and maintenance, and we've used the Measure M money to rebuild Fremont Elementary School and Alisal Community School. And all those other things that are on there, but mostly for that one, that's what we do. What we've achieved with the Measure M money is we've got phase 1 construction project of Fremont has been completed. Phase 2 construction project, 2-story building, that's also been completed. Phase 3 is the demolition of the Fremont Elementary Administrative Building and construction of a new one. And similar to Alisal, except Alisal has just 2 phases: the construction of the 2-story building and also the demolition of the office building and the new parking lot. Measure A overview. Measure A was a $90 million bond passed by 64.83% in 2006. This also was to improve safety, repair, maintenance. As I say, Measure A and Measure M are pretty similar in their writing, other than the fact that Measure M was put aside for rebuild of Alisal and Fremont. The taxpayers and the members of this community spelled out exactly what they wanted on the bonds, and that's exactly what we're spending the money for. And I'll get to that. Measure A achievements, the table pocket removal at I didn't know what table pockets were. Removal at Barden, Sanchez, MLK, and Lawyer. Anybody's been in the multi-purpose rooms knows that the tables used to go into little pockets in the wall and close the door. Well, we just take those out now. We take out those pockets. Now we got more floor space in the multi-purpose rooms. They've served their purpose. A lot of concrete and asphalt walk being done outside. Landscaping, interior, I'll get it right. Interior improvements in Cesar Chavez, Creekside, and Virginia, URB. We also have Measure A projects continuing. We're replacing rain gutters at all the sites. Portable classrooms, sidings will be repaired. A lot of exterior painting going on. Steinbeck Elementary is getting a kinder paving project, and Frank Paul will have some artificial grass. I personally passed through the district this morning just to see how we're doing. We have a beautiful district. People should be proud and reassured that they are getting their money's worth for their bond. Beautiful schools, beautiful grounds, beautiful facilities. Every quarterly meeting that we have, we are given a printout of every single expenditure on Measure A and Measure M, what they've been done for, how much they were. Some of the things are encumbered, meaning it's a contract. We haven't paid it yet because they haven't fulfilled the contract yet. So any questions we have, we ask Mr. Abbasi. If he can tell us right there on the spot, he gets back to us. We have complete support from the district. Mr. Abbasi is our secretary, and as such, he's charged with making sure that the minutes are kept and communications are held. And in that vein, Ms. Marisol Gonzalez does a lot of our work for us too. So between Mr. Abbasi and Marisol Gonzalez, this committee would not function. We wouldn't have the resources to function. So we thank the district very much, thank Mr. Abbasi very much, and also thank Marisol. That is the completion of my presentation, and I look forward to any questions.
Ms. Gilbert Barrera, I'm starting on this side.
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to thank you for your passion and love that you have for Alisal. And you mentioned that this couldn't happen without Mr. Abbasi or the other committee members. I think without you, it would be very difficult, and your leadership. And you've been involved for years, and it's just evident how much you love Alisal. And I want to thank you for that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ms. Perez, comments or questions? No? Mr. Jimenez, comments or questions? Mr. Ocampo, comments or questions?
Just comment. Yeah, I also would like to thank you, Mr. Ennis, for your time and your dedication and all the work that you're putting into this. I think the whole district is lucky to have you there. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
And I also would like to thank you and very grateful for your time that you put into this, because I know it takes time. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you for all your support. Appreciate it.
Okay. All right, now we're going to move on to item 4, board member / superintendent reports. Mr. Koenig, would you like to start off on your reports if you have any?
Yes, I have 2. First of all, this is a really short one. Yesterday, the district received the word from the state of California that our preschool at the Buckhorn Early Learning Center has been licensed. We are legal and we can start operations. This is great news. Second item, the ALASAL showcase for, I know that some people in the audiences were there because I saw them at the ALASAL showcase. Our performance groups showed off their stuff from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. yesterday at the Western Theater at Hartnell College. Mariachi, Folklorico, Color Guard, there were just dozens and dozens of groups performing. They showed a lot of energy, talent, poise. It's a terrific program, and it was a fantastic show. There were some things that we learned. This is the first time that we've done a show like this in a long time. The Western Theater at Hartnell is a beautiful facility, but it just doesn't have the seating capacity that we need for a show like this. We had twice as many parents. We had more than twice as many parents as could be accommodated inside the theater. The district and our expanded learning program apologize for that. Next year, the program will be better. But the program, just from the energy of the kids and what they did on the stage, was fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, how about Mr. Jimenez? Any comment? How about Mr. Ocampo?
Yeah,
Report?
sorry?
Report?
Okay, yeah, report, sorry. Yeah, I wanted to do this evening a shout out to the Family Resource Center for the fantastic work that they've been doing on the CalKids scholarship. CalKids is a program where our students can get up to $500 deposited into a savings account for college. And I know that the Family Resource centers have been given the responsibility to register students. And I think I was told that sometimes, like during registration or other events, they'll set up tables, and then they'll invite parents and say, "Hey, we got this great scholarship. The scholarship is called CalKids. Would you like to enroll your son or daughter?" And apparently, that's how they've been doing it. The program, I think it's been in effect for about a year. State of California, our governor passed the program about a year ago. And it was about a year ago that I was in Mr. Koenig's office, and we were having a conversation about CalKids. And I think that it was because of that conversation that later on the decision was made that the Family Resource Centers would be in charge of CalKids, and they've been doing it ever since for the past year. A year ago, the number of our students that we had receiving this scholarship or this saving account scholarship for college was at 3%. So our numbers were pretty low. Now today we've gone from 3% to 16%. So in other words, we have about 1,300 students plus who are now receiving this scholarship for a savings account. When you add up all of those 1,300 students and all that money, you're talking about a little bit over $500,000, you know, that this district has gotten from the government for our students to have a savings account that later they can use if they want to go to a vocational, to a technical, or anywhere else they may want to go to get it, further their education. So the program is great. I think the only negative about the program, in my opinion, is that you're not able to add money to the savings account that the state of California gives you. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but apparently those are the rules. The solution to this is that if our students were to open a ScholarShare 529 college savings account, then that account would be attached to the savings account from the state of California, and the parents can look at the amounts in both savings accounts on the internet. But it would also allow parents to put more money, into the savings account for their children. So my recommendation for the staff is to look at the possibility of maybe that would be, in my opinion, the next logical step. Those parents, those 1,300 parents that have CalKids accounts, can we get them to also open up a scholarship 529 college savings account? And if we're able to do that, then these parents can start putting money into their children's savings account on a monthly basis. Or, they could open up a, what's it called, a GoFundMe account on social media. Or they could ask their relatives, hey, don't give me a present for my son's or daughter's birthday, put money in their savings account for college. And so you kind of open up all these different avenues, and you're also encouraging parents. And I think that in terms of like creating a culture of education, which is obviously what we want to do here, having parents put money into the bank every month for their child's education, I think really promotes a culture of education, because it gets the parents talking to their sons and daughters about, college or vocational education or technical school. So in my mind, it's a great program. In my mind, we're 50% there. Again, it's a recommendation. I would like to make that recommendation to the staff that we look at the possibility of the next step. Well, you have a CalKids savings account. I know you can't put money in there, but we're going to help you open up a 529 savings account, and you can put money in there. And to me, it's just sort of a logical, perfect second step in this process. So sorry for taking up so much time, but
Thank you.
I just wanted to get it out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Campo. Ms. Filipas Pareda?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Garcia. I also wanted to add congratulating the 60 students and families who graduated from the Joven Noble curriculum. I think it was like 60 was the number. Also, again, the Teachers Appreciation Week. Last week, I think teachers got burritos, and some of the board members were able to go. I wasn't able to go, but looking forward to Classified Week, which starts, is that this week or next week? Next week. I'm looking forward to that. But we do have this week an opportunity as the board to follow a classified in their job. It's called Leadership Follow. So I'm gonna join one of the maintenance guys and see how that goes. But if he's agreeable to it, and I'm going through Sophia to make that appointment, and not all day long, but maybe just But I mean, just to see what's up with that program. We're not looking for anything, just to share some time, I think, with some of the classified. So I think Friday is the last day for that, Mr. Koenig. I think of next week. Oh, okay. So we can pick a couple more. Anybody who wants to sign up, I'll go, the classified staff, and for a little while. It'll be nice to make that connection with them and build those relationships. Also, I wanted to, recognize the fact that May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and also Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So thank you very much for the time to share.
Ms. Perez?
Yes, I just want to give a round of applause to all those kids that participated last night. It was like going to a concert. It was amazing. I was so engaged just looking at those children that I was sitting in my seat and I wanted to get up and dance with them. It was incredible. Yes. So awesome job, and round of applause to all those kids. And I also want to give thanks and a shout out to Diana Garcia, Ms. Garcia, for doing an amazing job for the Joven Noble. It's so touching. So she didn't mention it, but it's Girasol and Joven Noble. So Girasol, it's for the young ladies, and Joven Noble is for the gentlemen, 5th and 6th graders. And, you know, it's so satisfying listening to the parents tell you how these programs make a difference in their daughter, son life. And them bringing that change into their homes, it just, you know, it's comforting. It gives me, I mean, I feel the sympathy for the parents because sometimes, you know, having children, it is a struggle, and them being involved and entering these programs, it's a difference. So if any parent out there has a 5th or 6th grader, it's motivational for them. It makes a difference because, especially because they're in that transition of changes and, you know, getting ready to go to middle school. Scary, but awesome job. And thank you. Thank you for inviting me. That's all.
Okay, thank you for that. And this is award season, so some of us were able to go to the MCOE and annual awards ceremony that took place last Friday, where we recognized our classified and certificated employees, and it was a wonderful dinner in Seaside. And also, along those lines, we are our district is giving out the Luminary Awards, and today I was able to stop by Steinbeck, DRB, and Loya, and was able to give out, along with, of course, Mr. Koenig and a group, and Claudia. Thank you, Claudia, for all you do, because I know that, you know, you're out there picking up those balloons and, you know, being that person that brings everything to those sites. Yeah, and you can tell some of them didn't know. It was a huge surprise. It was really touching, and we were able to go into classrooms and give the teachers their certificate, and it was wonderful. So anyway, we're going to go on now to item 5, consent agenda, approval, ratify contracts, MOUs, agreements, grants, proposals, conferences, workshops, field trips, approval of consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
And Ms. Gilbert Barrera, and seconded by Mr. Ocampo. Comments or questions? Ms. Gilbert?
Yes, I do. I just have a question on the consent agenda warrants. So that would be 5C. And on the first page, there's starting with check number 1291-0608 all the way down to 0623. It says that the fund object, I don't understand what it is. It says stale dated. And then so one of these checks is for like 2,000, and for one, I don't know if these are employees or who they are. And then another one is like for $2.24. So I just wanted to know, what was that payment? I'm not questioning the payment, just what is that? And are these employees or?
So those are all the payments we make to vendors or employees. And if they do not cash the check, we have to cancel those warrants and reissue them. But if you need to see more details about that, what kind of payments they were, we can provide you the backup.
No, I guess I was just curious about the number with what, so these aren't employees then, they're vendors?
They are all employees.
Oh, they are employees. Oh, they're employees.
Yes.
The checks expire after 6 months and can no longer be cashed. So they come to the district, we cancel the check, which is already canceled by law, and then we reissue the check. They're still entitled to the money.
So is that why they're called stale?
They're called stale
check.
Like
dated
stale?
checks.
Okay, they're not
Yes.
good anymore. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you so much. I just didn't know what that was.
Okay, Mr. Koenig, can you please take a line vote?
President Garcia.
Yes.
Vice President Ocampo.
Yes.
Clerk Perez. Trustee Gilpus Pereira.
Yes.
Trustee Jimenez.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Item 6, business services. A, action item resolution 2425-25, finding construction of new district office buildings to be exempt from review of by the Division of the State Architect, DSA. Can I get a motion to approve this action item?
So move.
Mr. Ocampo, can I get a second? Ms. Guilpas Barrera? Comments or questions? Mr. Koenig, can you please take the line vote?
President Garcia.
Yes.
Vice President Ocampo.
Yes.
Clerk Pettis. Trustee Gilpus Pereira. Trustee Jimenez.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Item 8A, action item, declaration of need for fully qualified educators for the 2025-2026 school year. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion.
Mr. Jimenez, can I get a second? Ms. Perez, comments or questions? Oh, was it you, Ms. Gilpas? Oh, sorry, Ms. Gilpas. Comments or questions? Mr. Koenig, can you please take the line vote?
President Garcia.
Yes.
Vice President Ocampo.
Yes.
Clerk Pettis.
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira.
Yes.
Trustee Jimenez.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Item 9A, Administrative Services, action item, second read, revised board policies dash administrative regulation series 5,000 student, and then you can read all of those. Can I get a motion to adopt the action item?
Make a motion. Second.
Is that Mr. Jimenez? And then seconded by Mr. Ocampo. Comments or questions? Mr. Koenig, can you please take the line vote?
President Garcia.
Yes.
Vice President Ocampo.
Yes.
Clerk Pettis.
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira.
Yes.
Trustee Jimenez.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Item 9B, action item, second read, adopt new board policies, administrative regulation series 5,000, student dash BP, and you could read all of those. Can I get a motion? Ms.
Second.
Gilpas Barrera, seconded by Mr. Jimenez. Comments or questions? Mr. Koenig, can you take the line vote?
President Garcia.
Yes.
Vice President Ocampo.
Yes.
Clerk Pettis.
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira.
Yes.
Trustee Jimenez.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Item 9C, action item, second read, adopt new administrative regulation 6020, parent involvement. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion.
Mr. Jimenez? Can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Guilpas Barrera, comments or questions? Ms. Guilpas Barrera?
I have a brief question. Are there any significant changes? I mean, I read it, not that I know our old policy by heart, but it didn't seem to have any significant changes, but really is focusing a lot on Title I and parents' rights there. But is there anything else that? No?
No,
I think so, yeah.
most of the changes to our board policies are due to tweaks in the law and tweaks in federal or state regulations that we have to reflect in our board policies.
So in reference to the parent involvement, there doesn't seem like anything
No.
changed drastically that we need to pay attention to.
No.
correct? Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Koenig, can you take the line vote?
President Garcia.
Yes.
Vice President Ocampo.
Yes.
Clerk Pettis. Trustee Gilpus Pereira.
Yes.
Trustee Jimenez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 9D, action item, second read, revised board policy and exhibit 6163.4, student use of technology. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion.
Mr. Jimenez, can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Guilpas Barrera, comments or questions? Mr. Koenig, can you please take a line vote?
President Garcia.
Yes.
Vice President Ocampo.
Yes.
Clerk Pettis. Trustee Gilpus Pereira.
Yes.
Trustee Jimenez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 9E, action item AB 1200-LaSalle Teachers Association, ATA. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Guilpas Barrera, can I get a second?
Second.
Mr. Jimenez, comments or questions? Mr. Koenig, can you take the line vote?
President Garcia.
Yes.
Vice President Ocampo.
Yes.
Clerk Pettis.
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira.
Yes.
Trustee Jimenez.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Item 9F, action item, ratified tentative agreement between the LaSalle Union School District and LaSalle Teachers Association for 24-25 school year. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion.
Mr. Jimenez?
Second.
Ms. Guilpas Barrera, seconded. Comments or questions? Mr. Koenig, can you take the line vote?
President Garcia.
Yes.
Vice President Ocampo.
Yes.
Clerk Pettis.
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira.
Yes.
Trustee Jimenez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 9G, action item, salary schedule change, LSL Teachers Association, ATA certificated. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Gilbert Pereira? A
And a
second.
second.
Mr. Ocampo? Comments or questions? Mr. Koenig, can you please take a line vote?
President Garcia.
Yes.
Vice President Ocampo.
Yes.
Clerk Pettis.
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira.
Yes.
Trustee Jimenez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 9H, first read information, revised board policies, administrative regulations, and exhibit series 4000, personnel included. Item 9I, first read information, revised board policy 5131.8, mobile communication devices. Item 9J, first read information, adopt new administrative regulation 5131.8, mobile communication devices. Moving on to item 10, future agenda items. And you'll see that we have a presentation, public hearing, let's see, yeah, okay. Presentation will be happening on LSL Union School District Local Control Accountability Plan, which will be taking place June 4th. Public hearing on the Local Control Accountability Plan will also be taking place June 4th. Presentation, the budget for LSL for school year 25-26 will also be taking place on June 4th, and public hearing for that budget on 25-26 will also be taking place our next board meeting, June the 4th. Item 11, future meeting dates. Notice that it is June 4th, June 25th, July 16th, August 6th, and August 27th. Item 12, public comments, closed session agenda items only. Guidelines, there will be a 2-minute limit for individuals and a 20-minute limit on total public comments. There is no ceding of one's time to other individuals. Individuals wishing to address the Board of Trustees on closed session agenda items may do so at this time, and that starting time is 7:27. Is there anybody? Okay, so there isn't anybody, so I'm going to be ending that time also at 7:27. We are now going to adjourn to closed session, and I'm going to call it 7:28. We'll be back at 7:38. If you're leaving, right? Yeah, it's 7, I'm closing the session, closed session at 7:28, and we're going to be back. Break will be for 10 minutes. Closed session will be begin promptly at 7:38. Thank you. If you're leaving us this evening, thank you for being here. If you're not, we'll see you after closed session. Thank you.
ladies. Michael, good night, Sophia. Diego y por allá andan tiradas todas.
Time reconvened. Item 14, time reconvened is at 8:59 PM. Item 14B, during the closed session tonight, the board adopted resolution 2425-26 pursuant to Education Code Section 44929.1 and authorized the district superintendent or designee to notify a teacher of release from his or her probationary position. By a vote of 5-0, the board appointed George Lopez, Director of Human Resources. Congratulations. By a vote of 5-0, the board appointed Marisol Gonzalez as Manager of Risk Management. Congratulations. So we will now adjourn the meeting at 9 PM. Thank you all for staying with us and have a good evening.